That's gonna be fun. Oh my god, oh my god, it's so tricky. And the other side too. Oh wow. I don't wanna do it. What if I just pretend that it's not there? What are the chances that they've seen it and they remember that actually I have to do that? I can just say in video that the frame is all done and just put the gas tank on and forget about it. Nobody's gonna remember about that. Oh, hi guys! You're here, how are you? Well, I was just here under the Jeep and I was looking at those repairs that we still need to do. I didn't forget. I know that I have to do them and I never thought that I wouldn't do them. So yeah, you remember we've done all the repairs here. This corner last of the frame, this is the rear left corner. And now these are the last repairs before we can install the gas tank. So it looks pretty complicated. Which one should we do first? I think this one is gonna be easier because there's no exhaust here. This one, the exhaust is on the way, so I should leave this for last. So, do I do only the flat part? Do I just do a patch like this and then a patch like this? What fun is that? It's not fun, right? I don't think that would be any fun. Let's make it more complicated. This is pretty thin sheet metal actually, and I know that this is not because the metal is rusted. Apparently it is only here to hold the gas tank. So what actually makes it strong is all this curvature here. Otherwise it is a very, very thin sheet metal. It's probably 18 gauge. We've seen 18 gauge before. We've done all the repairs on the Triumphs with 18 gauge, so we should be able to do something here. So what it looks like, maybe you will see it better from here. Yeah, actually I can see it better on your screen as well. So there's no flange here, and then here there's something bent up. I have no idea what the reason for that is, but then it ends up here again where there's no flange. So there's only flange here in this area. So the flange is from here to here. So that makes things a little bit easier. Alright, to begin with, let's start with this rusty piece of metal. It is pretty much the same thickness. I think it's 18 gauge. It's pretty rusty. We're gonna have to clean it, but it's just an angle piece that we can use to begin with. We just need to bend it to the proper shape. Yeah, so let's attempt the shrinker stretcher. I know it's gonna be hard because this side is very wide, but these curves are not way too big, so maybe it's gonna work. We just need to shrink this part here a little bit and it's gonna match this. But to do that, I think we need to make a template of that, because otherwise we're gonna have to come in and out like 1,000 times. Alright, so I just went under the Jeep and I made a template of the bend that we need to make, and we need to shrink the shorter side so this line becomes this line. If this is too deep for the shrinker to shrink, then we have two options. We either make V-shaped cuts here and bend it, or we shorten it. We cut it here to maybe 3/4, and then the shrinker is going to be able to work it out. But for now, first I'm going to attempt to shrink it as it is. I know it's going to be hard, but you never know. Well, I can already tell it's not going to work. It's shrinking this end, but not here. So, well, I did try. So now then we're gonna cut it here at 3/4. Then we're gonna be able to use the shrinker stretcher, and after that we're gonna have to add a flat piece here, but that's gonna be easy. We just have to weld the line that we just cut now. By the way, Meet Nick. This is my son Nick. Some of you might know him, some of you don't. So he's here to help me today. And I was just explaining to him how, if this is our piece of metal that we have, if we remove metal from here, if we cut a V shape and we bend it, then we're gonna have something like this curve, right? For this curve, we're gonna have to add metal. So we're gonna have to make a cut and do this. Open it and add metal like this. And then we're gonna have a curve that is similar to this curve, right? But we can also use the shrinker or the stretcher to shrink and make it curve, or to stretch this metal here and make this curve. The thing is though, the farther away we are from this bend, the more metal we need to shrink or stretch. The closer we are, the less metal we need to shrink and stretch. So that was the reason why we cut it this short. So now let's start by bending this curve, let's say. So here we need to shrink a little bit, and hopefully it's gonna start curving for us now. I can already see it's not a straight line anymore. You see?
Oh yeah.
There you go. It's not a straight line anymore. So now we are looking to make this curve similar to this one. So we need to shrink a lot more. And now this is not bending with it, so we're gonna have to help it. These are not the best pliers I could use for this, but I don't have the ones with the parallel jaws. They are at work. So far so good, so we're gonna keep going that way now. Okay.
That's pretty close.
We're almost there. I'm gonna just do a little bit more here.
And then next, are you gonna move it up?
Yes, then here we're gonna have to stretch just a smidge.
Yeah.
Now to stretch it, we're gonna need to exchange tools. And I don't wanna move this one from here, so we're gonna put the other one, the stretcher, somewhere else. Alright. And the yellow one is the stretcher, so it does exactly the opposite. Instead of shrinking the metal, it's stretching it. So we said right here we made a mark. Here is where we want to stretch it. Just a little bit. Let's see. So a little bit more. Okay. There you go. So now we have it all the way to here. So now here we're gonna shrink it again. Back to the shrinker. The more metal you grab at a time, the harder it is, because you're dealing with more metal.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes I pull it out. Like it's easy, but you also have to shrink the metal that is close to the edge. So that's why I'm moving it back and forth. But
What happens if you go too far?
if I over shrink it, then I go and stretch it. If I over stretch it, I come and shrink it.
Yeah.
The two machines are opposed to each other, right?
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh. And it's actually not that important for what we're doing, but many times what we do is important because it's for the outer body of the car and it's gonna be seen. Nobody's gonna see this, but we still want it to be nice.
If it's not like the perfect like bends and stuff, will it still like be able to fit on?
It will fit on. The thing is, I want it to be nice.
Yeah, no, I agree, but like, just wondering.
It's just practicing my skills, you know?
Yeah.
Actually,
I think you have it pretty good there.
yeah, so a little bit more. Actually,
I think you need one more.
yeah, it's good. That's where we're gonna leave it. And now we're gonna come here, stretch it here. Actually, we're gonna shrink a little bit more here and then stretch the other side. So a little bit more, we'll shrink here. And now we're gonna go stretch. So I'm gonna move half an inch over from this line. It will help if I tighten my shrinker.
Isn't that stretcher?
Stretcher, sorry.
Keep getting your feet.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's pretty close. And once you're done with like getting the right shape, how are you gonna put it on?
Gonna weld it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
I think we got it. Now, supposedly, this line should be the same as this line, but this piece stayed behind. So now we have to help it. We have to bend it here and then everywhere to make it match this shape, but that's easy. I don't have a sheet metal hammer at home yet, so some of you may know this is my new garage and I don't have too many tools. All my tools are in the workplace where I work and I need them there, so I need to buy more tools now for here. Pretty close, isn't it? No.
Yeah, it looks like it. There's not much of a bend right here, so you didn't really need to hit it that much.
Yeah, it's a very slight bend here.
Yeah.
Like here I overbent it a little bit, so now I can straighten it actually.
Yeah. I think that's pretty good. Because I can see like kind of both angles.
So now, let's go check under the car and see how it matches our other thing.
How it fits.
How it fits. Good thing I have somebody English speaking here to correct me. And stop recording, that's how it happens. I lost few video clips from my bench making because I didn't record. Like I thought I was recording and I pressed the button by mistake and I wasn't. And then the next time I needed to start it, I actually stopped it. And then when I needed to stop it, I actually started it. Like. So I went underneath and I took this template of this part and now we have to transfer it here like that. We're gonna cut it like that first. So this is the final shape, but from where this line was is where the flange starts to form. So remember, here it ends flat like that, but from here there's a return and we have a flange which ends right here. So actually here we're gonna have to cut it a little bit shallower or deeper, or I don't know. And then this is our bend line here. This is our cut line. All right, and now this is gonna be very tricky here to bend up, so we're gonna do it a little bit at a time. Looks like the same piece to me.
Yep.
Yeah. So the only thing is now here we have to add a little bit more. But before we add a little bit more, I'm actually gonna cut off this so we can put this properly all the way. Maybe we will need to shape it a little bit more or something, I don't know. Well, it's a little bit too wide. This part here is a little bit too wide compared to that one, but hey, there's nothing here. Maybe we should be more careful about that on that side because that's where the exhaust is. Even though the exhaust doesn't go all the way there, it's here. But anyways, it is similar. I'm sorry, I didn't make it. Like, my template wasn't proper. I did it almost to the line. The problem is my template was not the correct shape. But anyways, let's cut it here. Alright, I'm sorry, but I had to cut it without you. I don't have thousands of hands. So, this is how it goes. It actually fits pretty well. Now, in that end, it's a little bit too wide. So we're gonna narrow it down, but this end is good. Actually, let me clamp it. So there, I can't clamp this end, but it is something like that. And then we're gonna have to extend this part here to cover this hole, and then we're gonna cut the rust out. Alright, it's the next day actually, and today I brought from work the pliers that I was talking about, the parallel jaw trials. So these are fantastic because you can see how the jaws are going parallel to each other. Unlike these ones, you see how they only grab with the tip, which is useful in different situations, but in our situation here, I was looking for something like this where they open parallel, and they can even go this wide, but still they will be parallel. In certain situations I can do what I'm doing with these pliers, I can do with adjustable wrench, but in this situation I actually needed this because I wanted to make this straight and just follow this line and make it a little bit more, I don't know, to look more professionally done. Okay, so these are the two pieces. Obviously, this part here, I made a little bit too wide on this piece, but I'm not gonna cry over that. It's perfectly fine. And this side, we know that this one goes a little bit lower here, where this one is too narrow. So we need to make this one something like that. Okay, so this is where I could use a bandsaw, but it is what it is. Okay. I've never welded sheet metal with this welder so far, so let's see how that's gonna work for us. I wish I was using this welder for all my repairs so far, but now I know what I'm gonna use when I weld Triumphs. I fitted it here, and it needs just a little adjustment here, and the other side is pretty much okay. But the problem is here, and now you're gonna be upside down, but it doesn't really matter. For some reason I thought that this is how much I needed to extend the piece, but obviously it needs a lot more to be extended. So I'm gonna have to extend it at least by an inch from one end to the other, and then this we're gonna cut a little bit lower. It's lower on your screen, it's actually higher. See, let me extend it and I'll show you. So now we have enough metal to be able to cut this to somewhere where we have solid metal, somewhere here maybe. And now I can put this one at the back like this, and I can mark and cut it on the bench. I'm actually happy. So now what's left is we're gonna take a wire wheel, we're gonna clean this up here as much as we can from the rust, and then we can start welding it. Okay, that's as clean as it could be. And now I'm gonna start tacking it in place. Alright, so it's tacked in place. Now we're gonna get a hammer and start lining it up, because it's not lining up everywhere with everything. But I'm gonna take you out of here because you're on my way, and I'll bring you back to show you when we're done. Alright, it's not beautiful, but it wasn't fun welding it, because I tried to clean the rust on the outside of the metal, but the inside was still rusty, and my welds kept being contaminated and bubbling and all this fun stuff. But I have no access to the other side anyways. So yeah, we're good. Now, I'm not gonna go crazy with grinding here because the sparks fly all over the place, and especially on my face. So I'm just gonna grind a little bit here so I can clean up this hole to make it look like nice and round, like that one, and that's it. And whoever said that we need a hole here, yes, you're right, we need a hole here, a drain hole. Probably that's why it rusted in the first place, because water kept collecting here and there's no way to escape. So we're gonna drill a hole here as well. We should have done that on the bench, but anyways, we can drill it here now. This is where we are at. We're gonna grind it, we're gonna drill the hole, and we're gonna be done for tonight. Alright, so that's it. The hole looks almost round. I might try and fix it a little bit to make it more round, and then we drill the hole there underneath, and that's gonna be it for this side. I don't even want to think about this one, where the exhaust is.